Just think about that. If somebody really did so much for you, why would they then want to turn around and take it all away from you if they loved you, if they cared about you? That shit don't make no fucking sense. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. Welcome back, y'all. Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is that you are listening to this episode. I hope you all had a peaceful and gluttonous Thanksgiving, and that you spent your time with people who love, appreciate, and care about you. Okay? So, okay, housekeeping. Yeah. Because I got a good one for y'all today. But housekeeping, please continue to leave your reviews on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. 5-star reviews and a little sentence or two about why you love the podcast. We're on our way. We're 5 weeks left in the year on our hunt for 1,000 reviews. So we are getting closer day by day. So I really appreciate y'all. So keep up the good work. 2, Resolve Evolved goes live December 14th. It's a Sunday, if I'm not that's right. And if you're interested in working with me live on healing your Black mother wound, this 6-week course is amazing. It's 6 weekly calls on Sundays. We're probably going to do about 1 o'clock Eastern every Sunday. We are going to be talking about the principles of autonomy and authority, along with the cornerstones of reparenting. Because often you all are asking me, how do you heal? How do you heal? How do you heal for every situation? And it's like, it's the same protocol. No matter what your situation is, it's the same protocol. So whatever you're going through, whether you're in contact, no contact, mother's here, your mother has passed on, no matter what your age. We have women from like 21 to in their 70s in Resolve. And once we get in there, in this safe space, in this sacred space, in this confidential space, we realize how much we have in common, and the small things that separate us just disappear. And we get to the business of healing. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up for the wait list in the link in the show notes or the YouTube description. So, hey, all right. Now that we've got that out of the way, I think I told y'all either last week or a couple of weeks ago that I went in and looked at all of your audience questions, and now it's up to like over 50. So what I did was I grouped them by themes, because it's impossible to get through all of them in one episode. It's impossible. So I grouped them into themes, and this is the first episode of this series of answering the audience's questions. I don't know if I'm going to do this every week until I get through them. I might, because they're really good questions, and some of y'all have asked the same things as another person. So I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. But today we're talking about estrangement, distance, and letting go. And if you're listening to this if you're listening to this in real time, last week, Oprah had a podcast episode talking about going no contact with your parents and this trend. I hate the word trend. But so I thought it would be cool to kind of, I don't want to say piggyback that, but because so many of y'all have sent me clips, for us to kind of examine it from my perspective and how I look at how I look at contact, no contact, parenting, and things like that. So I think some of that will get touched on as I answer some of these questions. So we're going to start with the first one. Question number 1. How do I let go of guilt and worry about my mother after going no contact? Letting go of guilt and worry, no matter what the reason is the same. So it doesn't matter. And that's very important, because a lot of y'all are nitpicking and overthinking this. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's normal why. because you think your situation is different. Shame has taught you that. Isolation has taught you that no one has gone through what you've gone through because you're not in a community of people. So you think nobody's having this experience with you. And thus, you must be wrong because how could this be happening to you? And if it's only you, it can't be that big of a problem. So surely you can fix it. Right? Yeah. But that isn't really the truth. So you want to talk about guilt and worrying, right? When it comes to going no contact specifically. I think that you have to, one, establish safety with yourself. I always talk about this because are you actually guilty? Did you do something wrong? No. If you don't want to be with somebody who treats you poorly and then you feel guilty for that, what you have to redefine is how should you be treated? That's what you have to redefine because you don't think that you deserve to be treated well. So if you let go of somebody who doesn't treat you well, you feel guilty. You're going to have to establish a new baseline of how you're treated. It doesn't matter by who, right? But there's a chance that you let your mother get away with a whole lot of shit, right? Or you were. And this is the thing. This was the piece about the Oprah podcast. Going no contact is not the end all be all because you still have to do the healing work, right? You still have to come out of survival mode if you're going to go no contact. And that means reestablishing a relationship with yourself. And the only way that you can learn how to treat yourself or how you should be treated is by treating yourself better. Right? And that's what we teach in Resolve, because through those 6 levels of autonomy, you will learn from week to week. Oh, this is how I take care of myself. This is how I make connections with my feelings. This is how I build my self-esteem. This is how I trust my intuition. This is how I use my voice. Right? And as you do those things, you grow in kinship with yourself. And the guilt starts to fade away because it's not actually guilt. That's the other thing. I want you to use a different word. It is enmeshment. It is codependence, right? So it's not like, how do I let go of guilt? It's like, how do I let go of codependence? And that means you have to become responsible for how you feel, and you're going to have to practice letting others be responsible for how they feel. There's a really good chance that you don't have healthy interpersonal relationships with other people also. So I would say go start practicing over there. Take a real assessment. Who are the people in your life that remind you of your mother? And be honest. Whether they're family, romantic, people at work, whatever it is, right? I want you to first establish that. Then I want you to be honest about your behaviors and how you're showing up, and stop letting yourself off the hook, because you're probably saying, well, it's them. They're the problem. I'm a nice person. I'm a good person. I'm a good friend, sister, daughter, wife, girlfriend, all those things. So it's not me, when actually you're practicing a lot of self-abandonment. But you think you're doing it for a good reason, so they'll like you. That's a problem. It's like that right there should be the huge red flag waving in front of your face, right? So you can only let go of guilt, i.e. codependence, when you have redefined how you should be treated, because you only feel bad because you don't believe you should be treated well. So that's how you do that. Question 2. What should I do about a mother who manipulates me and uses contact to guilt trip me? Is your mother manipulating you, or do you keep expecting her to behave differently? Because by now you know what she's doing, because you sent me a question. So is she manipulating you? Is that what it is? What should I do about my mother who manipulates me? let's take out the word mother. What should I do about a man who manipulates me? What should I do about a neighbor who manipulates me? Like, why is it different? Because it's your mother who is manipulating you. And again, we're talking about guilt. You have established a point and a baseline of care to where you believe it's your job to make sure that she's happy. And you're trying to probably still make her happy, right? So it's like, what should you do? Stop letting her manipulate you. If you know that's what's happening, what do you want to happen? I'm saying this because I really want y'all to be thinking about the shit that y'all are saying. What should I do about a mother who manipulates me and uses contact to guilt trip me? Now, what I also hear is you needing permission to put your foot down. You wanting to feel validated in your experience enough to say, this isn't right how she's treating me. And I'm going to tell you, it's not right how she's treating you. And you don't deserve to be treated that way. And you don't owe her anything. Now, this is a dance that you all do. It's a dance. And do you want to stop the dance? And whatever benefits that you get from doing this dance of pretending like she's manipulating you, but really you might be manipulating her also because you want to have a relationship with her. And you're trying to do all these things to make that be. Are you willing to let that go? Are you willing to be the person that stops trying? Are you willing to walk away from whatever the benefits you think that you get by being in proximity to her? Those are the things that you have to ask for yourself, because if you stand up for yourself, there's generally something you're going to lose. Are you willing and okay with losing that? Or are you trying to have your cake and eat it too? I want to have a relationship with my mother and I want her to stop manipulating me. You're not going to get both of those. You're not. So that's where you really have to be really honest with yourself, right? Question number 3. How do I heal after my mother dies when the relationship was traumatic and unresolved? I get this question a lot. Remember what I said a few minutes ago about how you all think, well, my situation is different. Like, because she's alive, I heal this way. Or if she's passed away, I heal this way because it's different. And I'm going to go back to the core thing I've been saying since episode 1. We're on episode 83. Go back to episode 1 if you can relate to this question. Healing your mother wound has nothing to do with y'all's mother. Y'all are trying to heal the relationship with your mother. You think that she has to admit that she did something wrong. And for you to heal there, it has to have something to do with her. It doesn't matter whether your mother is alive or dead. Healing your mother wound has nothing to do with your mother. It is the wound created by your mother. It is not the relationship with your mother. The dream of having a loving relationship with your mother and then her passing away and that dream dying with her. Oftentimes I feel like that's what a lot of you all are left with. I now know I will never have a chance to have a loving relationship with my mother because she's passed on. How do I reconcile that? How do I reconcile that? How do I not only grieve her being not physically here? How do I grieve the dream that I had of us being more? And you're going to have to grieve that fantasy the same way you grieve her death. And healing your mother wound is about coming back into your own autonomy, those 6 levels of autonomy that we talk about in Resolve. It has nothing to do with your mother. Healing your mother wound is about you establishing a healthy relationship with yourself, and not so that your end goal is to be in relationship with your mother. It is so you can be in relationship with yourself in a loving way. That is what it's about, right? So I know some of these, the answers may not be what you want, but that's really it. And if you want to heal, if you don't want to feel guilty, which is what we're talking about here, is that letting go, you're going to have to establish autonomy. You're going to have to come back to yourself. You're going to have to reparent. You're going to have to center yourself and decenter the relationship with your mother. And I know it makes you feel like you're a terrible person. You're not a terrible person. You're not a bad daughter. You're not a bad woman. Nothing is wrong with you. She doesn't get a pass. She doesn't get to get put on a pedestal, because right now, what I'm hearing from y'all through these questions is there's a debt that you believe you owe her. And that debt is the thought of that debt is what has been established by traditional Black parenting. I ain't gonna talk about white folks, I'm talking about us. But traditional Black parenting, that because she gave birth to us, we somehow owe her something. Or we have been made to believe by her and others that she has done something so selfless that it is our job to then repay her by letting her abuse us. That's what it is. I'm going to repay you by letting you abuse me. Would you let your daughter or son be in that situation where someone does something? Let's say they do something amazing for your daughter or son, and then you let them know, hey, you're going to have to let them abuse you to repay them. Why would a motherfucker want to abuse you if they did something amazing for you? Like, just think about that. If somebody really did so much for you, why would they then want to turn around and take it all away from you if they loved you, if they cared about you? That shit don't make no fucking sense. And y'all have got to start thinking critically. And I know it's not hard. It's not easy, because when you grow up with an emotionally unavailable, toxic, abusive mother, your critical thinking is fucking suspended. Because if you were think critically, you would want to hit that bitch upside the head with a frying pan and get the hell out of there. But you can't, because you don't have anywhere to go, because she's the one taking care of you. So you have to suspend critical thinking. But you're going to have to bring it back. And your critical thinking has to be more important than your mother. It's got to be more important than, how you, feel about how other people see you in the relationship with your mother. That's the only way. Because I need y'all to come back and say, oh, let me take out the word mother and put in stranger. Let me take out me out of the equation and put a defenseless child in the equation. Start to play with it like that. And that will help you loosen up. Your emotions will start to kind of collapse around this critical thinking, and logic will step in and you say, oh, so those rules apply to me too. But when you have been emotionally abused and mentally abused through gaslighting, breadcrumbing, stonewalling, look all these things up. Not on the internet, not on social media where they can do a meme, but really get your research in on how you've been impacted by the relationship with your mother, right? When those things happen to you, you lose all ability to see yourself as anything that's important. And if you're not important, are other people important? Because that's where the shame is. I'm trying to get y'all to change your gaze and how you perceive yourself, because how you're perceiving yourself is so off, and it's what's causing y'all to have these questions that don't go together. It's like, how do I love someone who hates me? Like, think about it. Why would you? Why would you? Right? So if you're listening to this and these are not your specific questions, I want you to look at how these, like a form of these questions, are showing up in your life. How are you isolating yourself in your situation? And how are you asking for something that's fucking impossible that you wouldn't ask of somebody else, or you wouldn't let anybody else put you in that situation because it's your mother? Because you have no choice but to rewrite that script if you want to heal your mother wound. You're not going to, on my watch, you're not going to be able to hold on to both. You can't hold on to her and hold on to you. And I'm only here teaching you how to hold on to yourself so you can teach your kids how to hold on to themselves. You see what I'm saying? Everything that I'm talking to y'all about is also going to help you in your other relationships, especially as a parent. Okay? So those are 3 questions I have for this week. And now for my 2 cents about going no contact, since y'all have been watching Miss Oprah's latest podcast. Don't get caught up in contact or no contact. Going no contact is about stopping the bleeding. That's what you're doing. If you think about going to the hospital and you're bleeding out, you need to stop the bleeding. But once you stop the bleeding, do you need stitches? Does it need to be disinfected? Do you need physical therapy? Do you need a blood transfusion? What type of medicine do you need? Were there any arteries that were clipped? You know what I'm saying? When you were bleeding out, you have to think about all the other things that go into your recovery. No contact is just the first step, because you can go no contact and still then engage with other people who treat you how your mother treated you, because you don't even know how pervasive it is in your life. So just saying, I don't talk to my mama no more, does not fix the problem. It's a great start if you are with someone who doesn't respect your boundaries, who you can't get along with, somebody who's trying to make you feel fucked up. Y'all can't find no peace, all those types of things, right? Sure. Stop talking to them. And I think, and you know what, this is, I think for me is a little different because I grew up with parents, both emotionally immature parents, who were no contact with a good part of their family growing up. So I was raised watching family members not fuck with other family members. It's just crazy because I don't think my parents thought that it would happen to them. And I don't know why they stopped speaking to different people in their family. Of course, I've heard their stories and their versions, but I'm sure there's 2 sides to all the stories. And that is for them to tell. But I think because I grew up like that, it is a little easier for me. I don't take a whole lot of shit. I'm a little more, well, it still took me until I was 40 to stop talking to my mother. Because I was about to say, I don't be putting up with this or that, the third. That's a lie, because I put up with it for a long time. For a very long time, right? And I just think that that's the beginning. When I stopped speaking to my mother, or when she stopped speaking to me. That's the funny thing. She stopped speaking to me. I told you she could stop speaking to people. But it was so good. My life got so peaceful when she stopped speaking to me. I was like, oh, this is good shit right here. I think we should keep this up. But that was only the first step. I still had to do all of the work. That's why I'm like, it doesn't matter if your mother is alive or she's not. I don't need my mother to do the healing work. She doesn't need to agree. She doesn't need to understand. She doesn't need to co-sign it or anything like that. But you have to still go in and do all the things. Just going no contact helps you establish your autonomy. If you are still in an unhealthy relationship with your mother, that's where all of your healing work is going to be start and stop. It's not going to stick, because you're going back into the lion's den, right? And now you're re-injuring yourself. No contact is just that there's no more injury. But that is not, that's not the end all be all. And the fact that I think they said now like a third of, kids are going no contact with their parents. I think what we have to understand is in this country, I don't know other places, but our parenting is not based off of education. It's not based off of learning, early childhood development and psychology and all those types of things. It's 2025, almost 2026 now. So we have more resources about healing and parenting and healthy relationships. But whether you're white or you're black, but y'all know I stick with black folks. So we're going to talk about black folks growing up in segregated South, Jim Crow, racism, sexism, patriarchy, slavery, chattel slavery taught black folks how to parent. So it could never be good, but it was taught so well. That's what's fucked up. It was taught so well how children should be subservient because of, the black church teaching, honor your parents and do as they say and all that kind of bullshit. It was taught with military precision, just like the things that were taught during slavery. So it's taken time for all that shit to cycle through for us to see and feel the pain, to be on meds, to see how it impacts our families, to all the ways that the pain of growing up with emotionally unavailable, toxic mother created more problems in our lives, for us to then draw a correlation between the two. Like, oh my God, this shit got to do with her ass. Only then can we then say, oh, I have to stop the bleeding. That's what's happening. So it's probably going to continue. It's not a trend. It's a revolution, right? But what we have to realize is just because you go no contact, it doesn't mean that everything is fixed. You still have to do the work. All the work you wanted your mama to do, now you have to do for yourself. So I think that's what I have for y'all today. I hope this was helpful. I love y'all dearly. I be wanting y'all to be good to yourselves and be kind to yourselves, but I'd be feeling bad because I know I'd be snatching edges all at the same time because I want to shake the fuck out of y'all too, because I love you so much and I want you to have everything you can possibly have in this life, but it starts with you. It's hard work. It's not fair. I get it. You still got to do it. Yes, it's worth it. Y'all been watching me. You already know what the deal is. Okay? I'll see you next week. Love you so much. Sign up for the wait list for Resolve if you haven't already. It's going to be so good. We're going to start it at the end of this year and roll it through the first of next year. I'm going to be on y'all ass. So all the things y'all been wanting to learn and know, we're going to do in the class. Y'all going to have such a jump start on the year. So just do that. The link is in the show notes and in the bio. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.